Hello everyone, and welcome back to another exciting and action-packed episode of Newegg TV. My name is Paul, and today we're going to be taking this IBIS SSD that we have here. You might have seen it in last week's video. We're going to be plugging it into our test bed and benchmarking it and seeing what sort of numbers we can get out of this new SSD technology. Now, this is also actually a good time to answer a few of the questions that we've recently gotten on our YouTube channel. One of those questions has been, why are you guys using your price and performance computer that you have over here? We built that a few months back. It is a very respectable, very good machine. However, it is not quite the top-end parts that you would see in a test bed. And, well, there's a story behind it, and we're actually going to share a little clip of video for you here. But I must warn you, if you are sensitive to depictions of violence or gore, if you are possibly pregnant, if you're an ATI or AMD fanboy, you will probably want to look away.
Viewer discretion is advised.
I know, I'm sorry. I'll give you guys a moment to compose yourselves as well. What happened, and it's a very sad story, it's a fluke accident. We have a sprinkler system here, a fire emergency system, just a fluke accident. It happened over the weekend. There was a leak in the system, and it culminated in a waterfall coming down from our roof. It happened to be directly above our Newegg TV test bed. It's a very sad story. I'm sorry if I've traumatized any of you with that footage, but the good news is that we have had all of our parts replaced, and today, without taking up too much of the video time for the IBIS, I actually get to finally put all that stuff back together and get our test bed back up and running. So I have all of my parts down here, and I'm going to do the way a lot of you probably do when you get a new shipment from Newegg at home and you get to take all the nice new parts out of the box. Just to introduce you to all the parts, and then we'll go ahead and build it, and then we'll move on to the IBIS testing. In no particular order, the parts we have for our test bed are dual Intel X25V SSDs, although probably we're going to be using the IBIS today. We have two Radeon HD 5870s. That's to replace the sad, watery ones you saw in that video footage. This is our storage drive, which is a 640 gig Western Digital Caviar Black, and there's also a little video footage of our new hard drive packaging. Here's our motherboard, the ASUS P6X58D Premium X58 motherboard. Next is our power supply, which I already took out of the box for a video we did a couple months back. This is a 750 watt Corsair HX750W. Our CPU, of course, the Intel Core i7-960. Our memory is a full 12 gigabytes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sticks of Corsair Dominator memory. We have two optical drives, a light-on blue, this is a DVD burner, and this is a Blu-ray reader and DVD burner, yes, both by light-on. And of course our chassis, none other than the extremely popular and very frequently requested Corsair Obsidian 800D. So these are all my parts, and just to address one other comment that's made on our YouTube channel here and there is when we do have system builds, a lot of people say that we do it slowly. And, well, part of that is because we're actually trying to film at the same time. We're trying to get everything in there. And if you go back to the Supreme combo, we were dealing with a lot of parts there that we hadn't actually worked with before. So, for today, and since we're trying to save a little bit of time, I'm actually going to build all this stuff, and I have about an hour left in the day before I got to go home and watch some cartoons. So I'm just going to build all this stuff right now. I'm going to leave both cameras on. We'll do a little speed through the footage, and we'll see if I can get this whole thing constructed and up and running in the next hour. I can't promise I'm going to get Windows loaded, because that takes a little time. But hopefully I can start that up and then go home for the day. So here goes. Alright guys, it's all back together. Everything is working. I've been doing some software updates, installing updated drivers and that sort of thing today, and I'm happy to say that everything is working as it should. But what you guys are all here for is this guy right here, right? The IBIS. We want to plug this in and get with some testing. So let me shut down. Oh, I do need a SATA power plug. There we go. All right, next up is to start running some benchmarks on this. So we're going to publish those. We'll make some slides for you guys so you can see them. I'm going to run a few different benchmarks based on some of the reviews I've already read on this drive. And I think we're going to go with some standard desktop hard drive benchmarking software. We'll use Crystal Disk Mark. We're also going to throw in the PC Mark Vantage hard drive test. And then we're going to also use IOmeter because from what I understand, this drive is capable of very high speeds, but actually most desktop applications and just simple operating system usage as well as program use, and even the benchmarks that are already available for most hard drives right now don't even come close to maxing out what this drive can do. So we're going to use IOmeter. I believe it's called Iometer. I think it's pronounced Iometer. But we're going to use that one because it can actually do a queue depth of more than 1, 2, or 3. It can actually go up to some much higher hard drive queue depths, which simulates the type of activity that you would see with an enterprise storage solution, or something you'd see like within a server and that sort of thing. So we'll be right back with some benchmark results. All right, guys, so some final notes on our testing today, so now that we've had some hands-on time with the IBIS. First of all, make sure you're installing the add-on HSDL card in a 4-speed PCI Express slot at minimum. If you're not using 4-speed, you're not going to actually get the device to work. Next, if you're running standard benchmarks, you're not going to see quite the disparity between the IBIS that you would see between the IBIS and other SSDs, particularly drives like the OCZ Vertex 2. There is a huge gap when you actually can max out the drive, but if you're using benchmark software that's made for desktop benchmarks, then you're not really going to see that difference. When you are going to see the difference is when you actually start doing some enterprise level applications. That's why we used Iometer, which actually was able to let us reproduce some of the input-output tasks that you would see with enterprise level services like you would have with a server. When you're actually doing that, you're going to see a huge difference. You're going to see those numbers that they promised, like the 100,000, 120,000 input-output operations per second, and that's when you're actually going to really be able to impress your friends with the crazy speed and performance of your SSD. So it's not for everyone, but definitely if you want to look for the fastest drive that you can possibly get right now, the IBIS is definitely what you're going to want to look for. So thanks for watching today's video, everyone, and we'll see you next time on Newegg TV.